Hi, English learners. Today we're going to look at the 6th chapter in this book, okay? The 6th lesson. Wordly wise, book 7, okay? So get your work. Now we're going to pronounce these words and then we are going to talk about them, okay? So first things, say these words nice and loud, okay? So be careful here. The noun and the verb have a little bit different pronunciation, okay? So the noun here, this is an addict. Add the D is in the first syllable, okay? Addict. Aspire. Bias. Blatant. Candid. Confront. Debut. Be careful here. The T is quiet, okay? Debut. Enroll. Fluster. Impunity. I like this word. Impunity. Intensify. Intimidate. Obnoxious. Retort. And stint. Okay? So, one more time. Make sure you can say them, okay? Addict, aspire, bias, blatant, candid. Confront, debut, enroll, fluster, impunity, intensify, intimidate, obnoxious, retort, and stint. Okay, so let's look at the words. First one is addict, okay? So an addict is a person who can't stop something, okay? Maybe they take drugs and they are an addict. Okay, so here is addict, okay? Now if it's the noun, the syllables are going to be like this. Addict, okay? He is a cocaine addict. Okay, he is a heroin addict. Okay, it means that they take these drugs and they can't stop. Okay, they need to get help. Okay? Now, if you want the verb, that's fine, but the verb is going to be a little bit different pronunciation. Okay, addict. Okay, so we say he is addicted to drugs. He is addicted to chocolate. Me. I'm addicted to chocolate, okay? So addicted. So make sure you have the pronunciation correct, okay? Now there is an adjective and it's addictive. I'm going to try to use all my colors today, okay? Addictive. Okay? So the adjective is addictive. So we'll say, ooh, that cheesecake is really addictive. Very addictive. Super addictive. Okay, so we've got, how to block these? An addict. He is an addict. He is addicted to drugs. Drugs are addictive. Okay? Addict, addictive. English, always fun, okay? Second word is aspire. Okay, aspire is a little bit like having a dream, okay? Aspire to be something, okay? So aspire. Yes, that's the spelling. Usually we have the word to afterwards. Now, if you have a job here, you'll have to say aspire to be. Okay? So say he aspires to be a doctor. Okay? So we have to be. Now you can also have a verb. The be here is the second verb, okay? But you can also say he aspires to win a Nobel Prize. Okay? So if you got a job here, you have to have the word be. Okay? If you just have an object here, you can say win, aspires to win, like this, okay? You can aspire to be a millionaire. Money. Okay? You can aspire. So many things. It's a little bit like hope or dream to be, okay? Now here, the noun is a little bit different pronunciation. Again, okay, aspire. Aspire is the verb. Aspiration. Aspire, aspiration. Okay, so the A changes. Aspire and aspiration. Okay, make sure if you have, this is countable, so you have to say an aspiration. Okay, A-N. Okay, a great aspiration, an aspiration. Okay. Okay, bias. Bias means that you are prejudiced or unfair. Okay. It means that you're judging something beforehand. Now, if Canada plays America in hockey or Canada plays Russia in hockey, I am definitely biased. An adjective, okay? I have a bias. Okay, so the adjective here is biased. Adjective. I am biased. I have a bias against Russia or America in the hockey game, okay? Those are good countries, but in the hockey game, I am very biased. I want Canada to win that game, okay? Now, if you use it as a verb, here it will say it biases you, okay? So, like, for example, like, if you eat some food from Thailand, okay? And it was terrible. It was terrible food. Thai food is usually good. But if you have one time, you can say, that food biased me against all Thai food, okay? So we say that food, that biased me against all Thai food. Okay, so often we have it against. Ooh, my writing is way too fast. So that food, that Thai food biased me against all Thai food. Okay, maybe you watch a movie and it has Tom Cruise in it. I always talk about Tom Cruise. You watch a movie with Tom Cruise and it was a terrible movie. You see, that movie, that Tom Cruise movie biased me against all Tom Cruise movies. It means I'm always going to be a little bit not happy with those movies, okay? So biased is not usually a good thing. Now, biased adjective, you can also say unbiased. Okay, and that means more like fair. Fair. You're not judging things beforehand. Okay, so unbiased. Judges should be unbiased. Teachers should be unbiased. Parents should be unbiased. Police officers should be unbiased. Okay? Having a bias in these situations is not going to help you do your job. Okay, you'll not be fair. Blatant. Blatant. Blatant is fine. It means you do something really on purpose. Okay, blatant, and then we have blatantly. Ly is the adverb. Okay, it just means that you did something and everyone knows you did it. Okay, sorry, adverb is blatantly. Okay, now if you're writing a test, teacher's looking at you, and you're writing a test, and you're like this. You are blatantly cheating, okay? It's not very difficult for the teacher to say, stop it, stop looking, because you're doing like this, and doing the answers, okay? This is blatant cheating, adjective. You were cheating blatantly, adverb, okay? Very, very obvious way. Okay, now, if you are on the subway station, and you want to get the seat, okay, on the subway's coming here, and you want to get the seat. You maybe push a little bit. That's not very blatant. But if you like, push somebody, and then you sit down, you're a bad person. But you blatantly push that person, okay, not just a small little one. So blatant really means like obvious, obviously, okay. Don't do it. It's usually quite a negative word, blatant, okay? Yes, blatant, okay? Candid. Candid means frank, okay? Frank, which means like super, super honest, okay? No white lies. Candid equals frank, okay? Candidly, frankly, okay? It just means that you're super honest. If I ask you, hey, do you like my shirt? Maybe in your brain you're like, that shirt is ugly, super ugly. But you're like, you don't want to hurt Daryl's feelings, okay? Thank you. So you say, Daryl, your shirt's good. That is a white lie. Okay, that's a white lie. You told a white lie. But maybe you don't want to tell the white lie. And I say, hey, do you like my shirt? And then you think, Daryl, I'm sorry. I don't like your shirt. This is being candid. You're telling me exactly what's in your heart or exactly what's in your mind, okay? Not worrying about Daryl's feelings. I'm a big boy. You can tell me that you don't like my shirt, okay? If I cook some food for you and it tastes bad, you can say, Daryl, this food is not very good. That is being candid. Okay? That is being frank. Now, quite often, we'll have sentences and we'll say, frankly speaking. Frankly speaking. Or we can say, candidly speaking. Okay? So if I make some fish for you, I say, hey, is it good? And you'll say, frankly speaking, I don't like fish. Okay? Candidly speaking, I don't like fish. It just means that you're speaking very, very honestly, and you're not worried about other people's thoughts. Okay? So frankly, or very candid. Me as a teacher, many times I have to be candid. I have to tell you that your writing is not very good, or your pronunciation. You need to improve your pronunciation. Okay? So teachers can help more if they're very candid. If I'm a teacher and I just say to you, you're great, you're perfect, you're number one, this is not being very candid. Okay? Okay. Here, confront. Confront. Okay? Confront means that you see a problem, and instead of ignoring the problem, you try to fix it, okay? So if you see someone walking in the park and they're eating, and then their garbage, they put it on the ground. That's your park. You don't want an ugly park. Now, you can ignore it. Choice number one. Choice number two is you wait for them to go and you pick up the garbage. That's okay. Number three is you talk to them, okay? And sometimes that will be an ugly conversation. You'll say, hey, your garbage is on the ground. Don't put your garbage on the ground. You confront them, okay? Now, one time I had a job in an office, and I always made a delicious lunch for me, okay? So I'd make sandwiches, or I'd make a salad, or I'd bring pasta, homemade pasta, this kind of stuff. Sometimes I'd go to the refrigerator and be like, oh, I'm hungry. And I'd open the refrigerator and my food was gone. Now, I kind of thought I knew who did it, okay? I was like, I think it's that guy. Jim. I'll call him Jim, okay? I think Jim is stealing my food. So what did I do? I talked to him. I said, hey, Jim, you know that food was mine, right? And then he said, oh, I'm sorry. I was hungry and I thought you wouldn't mind. And I said to him, please ask. In the future, if you want me to bring some lunch, I'll bring some lunch for you. But please ask, okay? So I confronted him, and then we fixed the problem. And in the future, he didn't steal my food, okay? So this is called a confrontation. Confront, confrontation. Okay, be careful of pronunciation again, okay? We had a confrontation, and I was nervous about it, but it worked, okay? Okay, so often we say, when we do confront, the verb, we'll say A confronts B about something. Okay, so we'll say A confronted B about something. The student confronted the teacher about the student's poor mark. Okay, maybe the teacher gave them a D, but the student thinks, I worked really hard. Why did I get such a bad mark? So the teacher confronted the teacher about the poor mark. Okay, so that's a very common way to do it. Okay, confront, debut. Debut means that something is new. Okay, so and they're showing it to the public for the first time. So maybe a singer will have a very popular song, and then they'll have a tour, and then they have some vacation, and they have a new song. Okay, maybe they have an idea for a new song, and they record it, and then they will debut their new song. Okay, so we'll say like Michael Jackson. Now, Michael Jackson is dead, but we'll say Michael Jackson debuted his new song on, January 20th, 1994, like this, okay? I don't know if Michael Jackson had a song on that day, but we'll say he debuted his song on that day. Now, you can also have a noun, debut, okay? His debut, her debut, their debut was number 1, okay? So we'll say the Beatles. The Beatles debuted on the Ed Sullivan Show in 1964, I think. Someone can check for me. So let's say they debuted. Even with an ED, the T is still quiet, okay? So past tense, debuted, okay? Well, I wrote debut twice. I don't know if that helped you. But it can be a verb and a noun, okay? Same sound. His debut, her debut, their debut. He debuted. They will debut, like this, okay? So verb and noun. Enroll. Enroll is similar to the word register, okay? Register or apply. Okay, so we have to say enrolled in. He enrolled in a French class. He enrolled in a math class. Okay, you can even use this word for the army. He will enroll. Future tense. Okay, he will enroll in the army next summer. Like this. Okay, so enroll. The next word is fluster. Fluster. I'll find it for you. Fluster. It's a verb. It means kind of make someone nervous or make someone confused. So if you have a job interview and they ask you like a really difficult question, we'll say the question flustered me. Okay. So maybe the job interview was like, hey, where did you work before? That's an easy question. How can you help our company? That's another question that many job interviews will ask you. But then maybe they'll ask you like a really tricky question. They'll say to you, how many restaurants are there in Paris? And you're like, restaurants, Paris? What? I don't know how to answer this question. Job interviews sometimes will have these tricky questions, okay? And they're like, okay, well, there's 8 million people who live in Paris, and but you don't know how to answer this question. We'll say the question flustered me. Okay, or the question flustered him. So it means make someone confused. Right? Fluster. Whoa! Don't be flustered on tests. Calmly answer the questions. Okay, do your best. Impunity. Impunity is a hard word. Okay, impunity means that you can get away with something. No consequences, no trouble. Okay, so if you're the king of a country, maybe you can kill somebody. I'm the king. I'm the king. And the police are like, King, did you kill that person? And the king is, uh-huh. I don't know why. The king sounds like goofy. But the king can get away with it. Okay, he can do it without being in trouble. This is impunity. Okay, so impunity means that you are not going to have consequences. So, for example, if I'm a teacher and I have a student, and the student's a bad student, throwing things, never listening, okay? But the student's father is the principal of the school, or the student's mother is the president of the country. Maybe I'm not going to scream at that student, Okay. If I scream at the student and that student's dad is the principal, maybe I will not be the teacher anymore. You're a bad student! Sit down! Do your work! And then the student tells their father, and I don't have a job anymore. Okay? Or if the student's mother is the president, maybe I'll be in trouble. Actually, I will still yell at the student. I don't care, okay? Because the student needs to be yelled at, okay? But some teachers maybe will not do that because that student has impunity, okay? That student kind of doesn't have to face the consequences. Impunity is a tough word, okay? Impunity. Okay, next is intensify. Means make stronger. Okay, say my headache is intensifying. Means it's worse and worse and worse. Okay. When you're in grade 1, maybe your teacher doesn't give you much pressure. But when you're in grade 5, you'll have more pressure, more homework, more tests. When you're in grade 10, you'll have more pressure. When you're in grade 12, you really have to worry about university. And you have to get an A on all your tests. And it's really hard. But you're 12 years older than grade 1. So hopefully the pressure and the stress will not be so bad. Okay? But we'll say the stress. The pressure is intensifying. Okay? Now, think about the temperature in Canada or in northern country. Going from March to April to May to June, okay? The temperature is going to go up, right? Now, we don't usually say the temperature is intensifying, but we do say the heat. The heat is intensifying, okay? Summer, the temperature is at its height, okay? So we'll say that the temperature is intensifying. Okay, next is intimidate. Intimidate means you're trying to scare somebody. Okay, so maybe one gorilla wants to fight another gorilla. And this one gorilla is really big. And he's like, "Ugh, mm." And then they'll show the teeth. Why are they doing that? Because the gorilla is trying to intimidate the other gorilla. And then maybe there's no fight. The second gorilla thinks, wow, that guy's got big teeth. I'm going to go hide over there. I'm not going to fight that gorilla. That gorilla's teeth are too big. And then the first gorilla intimidated the second gorilla. Okay. Now, one country, they might show lots of pictures of their army. Okay. And they might move their army. And they might fire some missiles. What are they trying to do? They're trying to intimidate their neighbors. Okay. Their neighbors are like worried. Oh, we better not make them angry. Okay, so they're intimidating people. Intimidate, okay? And what they do is they have intimidation. Intimidate, intimidation. Okay. Next is obnoxious. Okay, usually we talk about a person, okay? And a person who's obnoxious. Talking on your phone during a movie, that's obnoxious, okay? Don't do that. That's an obnoxious thing to do. Okay, so it's making people annoyed. Okay, maybe during a test, someone is, and all the other students are looking at them. This is obnoxious. Daryl is obnoxiously hitting the marker. Okay, so he is an obnoxious person, and all the other students will be like, "Stop it! Stop it! I'm trying to focus on the test." And maybe Daryl will stop his obnoxious sounds. Okay? Obnoxious. Retort. Retort means that there's an answer. Daryl retorted. Okay? So if you ask me something and then I give a quick answer, I will retort. Okay? So, you know, in a book they'll say blah, 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 blah. Daryl said. Blah, 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 blah. Daryl whispered. Blah, 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 blah. Daryl shouted. There's also blah, 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 blah. Daryl retorted. It's usually a quick answer, okay? Some answer where you will give a short, but maybe sometimes funny reply, okay? You have much to be modest about, I retorted when the speaker claimed to be a modest person. So maybe you're in some rich person's house, and then they're like, oh, I don't need money. That's because you have money, Daryl retorted. Okay? So if a poor person says, I don't need money, that's like really surprising. If a rich person says it, it's like, your house is beautiful. That's why you're saying you don't need money. Okay? So Daryl retorted like this. It's some quick answer, quick statement, okay, to someone. Retort. Okay? Clever, quick reply. Yeah, it's close to the word reply. Okay, our last word is stint. Stint, okay? So it's a measure of time. It's usually a time that we know is going to be temporary. Okay? So maybe if I work in Dubai, but only for 1 month, I'll say, oh, I really enjoyed my stint in Dubai. Okay? Or maybe I'm an English teacher, but maybe I'll do 6 months as a history teacher, okay? Because someone is pregnant and that teacher asks me to do her classes. Okay, so I'll say, I enjoyed my stint as a history teacher. Okay, so it's this measure of time, but a measure of time where we know it's going to finish, okay? Okay, so it can be also a verb, and the verb is quite different, okay? So, and when we do a verb, we'll just say it kind of means a little bit like sacrifice or something that's not going to be restricted. Okay, so I'll tell you what I mean. Okay, so if we say, like, I stinted on restaurants on my trip in Paris. Okay, so Paris is a very beautiful city, and I went there one time. I really recommend that you go, if you can afford it. But it's really expensive, right? Hotels are expensive. The subways are expensive. Airplanes are expensive. So I stinted on restaurants on my trip in Paris. This means that I didn't do it. I didn't go to restaurants very much. And if I did go to restaurants, I made sure that they're really cheap restaurants, okay? Why? Because I'm watching my money, okay? My trip to Paris is expensive. So I want to kind of restrict how much money I use, okay? So I'm very careful with the restaurants. This would be called stinting on something, okay? Now here, local benefactors for this word gave without stint. Okay? Here, they're making sure that they're not restricting themselves. It means they're giving a lot, okay? Without stint, here means that they're kind of giving a lot. Okay. We're done. Okay, review these words as best you can. Get ready for the test. Do the homework. Make sure you understand the reading, okay? If there are words in the reading, it's not the easiest reading. So if there's words you don't know, please look in a dictionary, okay? And remember the words for the test. Take care. Bye-bye.